Well, let's continue the show. Central bankers around the world are concerned about how to keep inflation under wrap while using monetary tools such as interest rate as a means of keeping inflation under control. But that is not an easy job for any central bank and other banking policy professionals. So let's get some insights into inflation targeting by the South Africa Reserve Bank and what the global perspectives are on that subject.
For South Africa, the choice of implementing inflation targeting was considered prudent after the large cost and lack of transparency of the SARB's previous eclectic approach to monetary policy. But it also came in the aftermath of the 1998 Grand Depreciation, during which period we also blew the little reserves that we had, and we ramped up a massive oversold dollar forward position to the tune of some $26 billion. It was not a nice place to be in, and the current head of the Financial Markets Department, Zafar Parker, who is here with us in 1998, he was an intern in the Reserve Bank, and I am not even sure he knew what was going on at that particular time. And today he will tell you what a futile exercise it is to try and intervene in the foreign exchange market to try and show up the currency. The inflation targeting framework has served us well. Since its adoption in 2000, the South African economy has experienced lower inflation. As a result, we enjoy much lower interest rates. Back in 1998, the repurchase rate was above 20%. Today, the repurchase rate is just 7.5%, which is higher than the lows experienced during the pandemic, of course, but well below the averages of the previous decades. Inflation targeting has also reduced macroeconomic volatility, enabling the economy to better weather the severe economic shocks and crises of recent times, including the 2008 Great Financial Crisis or the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. The benefits of inflation targeting have made it a popular framework for central banks, and the framework has become a global monetary standard, as our keynote speaker Claudio Borio will discuss. However, inflation targeting continues to be challenged, with central banks facing various competing demands, including faster economic growth and greater responsibility for financial stability. These have once again come to the fore for both advanced economies, which we will discuss in session 2, as well as emerging markets, which will be detailed in the third session. One particular issue that both advanced and emerging market economies grapple with is making sure that their targets are efficient and fit and good, and useful definitions of price stability are identified. Most advanced economies have settled on maintaining inflation targets at 2%, while emerging markets are closer to the 3% mark. Early adopters of inflation targeting have updated their frameworks to better reflect changing realities on the ground, with Armenia being the latest central bank to also reduce its target to 3%. In this respect, the South African target is now rather dated, reducing our competitiveness and opportunity to generate faster and more sustainable growth. In session 4, we will have the opportunity to discuss what a more optimal inflation target for South Africa may look like, especially in the context of structural rigidities. We are excited to have conversations with prominent thought leaders in the field who will be also able to reflect on these and other issues facing inflation targeting central banks. Open discussions like these are important for how we think about the trajectory for global macroeconomic policy over the medium term and what that means for the path of inflation targeting within the South African context. In my many years in public service, I have come to think of inflation targeting much like Winston Churchill's viewed democracy. It is the worst form of governance except for all others. Research conferences like this should at least bring us closer to learning from our mistakes, and my hope is that we walk away with a few much needed lessons for the future.